to the March webinar for mLevel. Today we're going to be covering manual questions and tagging. It's great that we have Kelly Martin, who will be our presenter today, and we're also joined by Jeff Stefkin. Just a couple housekeeping notes. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat or the question tabs within the UI experience on the right-hand side of your screen. If you want to ask a question, you can also raise your hand and use the hand raise feature as well. If there's anything that you have after the webinar that you want to follow up on, feel free to reach out to your account manager or your business development executive. With that, Jeff, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Great. Thanks, Josh. Again, welcome, everybody. We're going to do something a little bit different this time as we wait for a few more people to sort of trickle in. We're going to ask a few questions and get you guys familiar with the chat box. So if we can go ahead and advance the slide. What we're going to do is we're going to ask a question. So our first question is, what is your role? What do you do at your company? Kind of interested to see what people are doing at the companies that they're at, who's attending. So if you can use the chat box in the GoToWebinar chat box, type in what your role is. That'd be great. People have questions? Is that what's going on here? Let's see. People are typing into the question box. So just, let's see. Yeah, it seems like everybody's typing into the question box, which is okay. There's also a chat box that's different than the question box. So if you have questions, type into the question box. If you have chat, I don't know if everybody has the chat box. They should. Josh, is that correct? Should everybody have the chat box? Josh is not on the line with us. So, okay, we'll go ahead and use the questions then. So let's go ahead and roll with the next. Yeah, people apparently are not seeing the chat box. So let's go ahead and just keep using the questions. So the next question is, how do you typically use mLevel? What are your use cases? What do you typically, when you're rolling out mLevel, what are you using it for in your company? Let's see. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll the last one. Our last little question here is, what future webinar topics would you like to see us provide to you? So it sounds like a lot of people are using new product training and support, training your sales reps, reinforcement games, new solutions. We have review content, curriculum management, pre-work for classes, regulation training. People want to see from us case studies, more games, best practices for game questions, reporting tips and tricks, best practices, what's coming next, new associate training, vision of mLevel, making it more interactive, new games, enhancements, walkthroughs, future topics, best practices. So it sounds like a lot of people want to do best practices, which is great because that's going to be our next webinar. So let's go ahead and get started then. We roll the slides. So just some quick introductions here. My name is Jeff Stefkin. I'm the Director of Product here at mLevel. We also have Kelly Martin with us, an account manager. She's going to be rolling through some demos with us. And Jake Bartlett is on the line with our support lead. He's going to be managing our questions, handling the chat box. Okay, let's go ahead and roll the next slide. So just a quick overview of our agenda here. We're going to have a few interactive polls. Kind of like you saw now, we're also going to do some interactive ones where you can actually just answer right on the screen. We're going to do, so those will be intermittent throughout the presentation. I'll do a quick feature overview, and then Kelly will get into some demos. She's going to demo all of these great new features for us, and then I'll briefly talk about some future improvements that we're thinking about, and then we'll open it up for questions and answers that the whole team can answer. So feature overview. We've got a lot of feedback from our customers that the way that we currently handle question generation and content is very powerful, but it can be challenging in some cases. The templates and grids can take some time and has a kind of a little bit of a learning curve. And then we also get some feedback that people only want to use specific questions, and it's not very easy to do in the knowledge grid and using the templates. So they want to ask very specific questions, and they have a list of specific questions. But they still want to get that great reporting and analytics that we get from using that grid. Next, please. So everybody should be familiar with mLevel's current knowledge grid system and question templates. And while there's a slight learning curve here, once you set up your content and your templates, you can quickly create a large quantity of questions for your games. And you get very granular reporting details from that, which is great. The grid-based content works well for certain types of content, but it can be harder to use for things such as processes, scenarios, or other types of content. Next slide, please. So with manual questions, what we've created is an easy-to-use process that allows you to add specific questions and answer options. Our new tagging feature will also allow you to tag, or what we're calling associate, a question with a topic and an item to provide some basic reporting capabilities. But with this manual process, it's not as efficient as the grid when it comes to quickly generating large question pools for your game. So it's a little bit more tedious in that you're adding these one at a time, where the other one is more powerful because you're getting one question template generating a lot of questions. So there's a little bit of pros and cons for each of these. If we go to the next slide, what we really envision is our customers using both of these existing question templates and the new manual questions together. So we've integrated both of these question creation tools into our system in a logical, easy-to-understand way. And whether you use a knowledge grid or you're using these new tagging features and manual questions, you'll be able to get those analytics that you need. So let's jump into a quick poll question before Kelly gives us a demo. So our first poll question is, have you ever encountered challenges trying to fit your learning content into mLevel's grid-based topic structure? We'll give you a couple seconds to go ahead and answer that. And the results are in. Looks like sometimes, so it's about 50-50. Yes, it's sometimes hard to use with the certain content that you're using, and people can usually make it work. So it sounds like we're headed in the right direction here with these manual questions. So right now I'm going to hand it over to Kelly. She'll kind of walk you through some of the demo stuff. So welcome, Kelly.
Thanks, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. So today I'm going to walk you through building a demo using both an mLevel topic with question templates and manual question templates, manual questions in tagging. So I'll touch on showcasing the difference between the two, how to add the manual questions and use tagging in Mission Manager so you can have those stronger analytics in the Knowledge Navigator flashcards. So today, here we go. Can you guys see the Excel file okay?
I can see it.
Okay, great. So for this demo, I'm going to build a sales associate training mission. In this Excel document, I've got an mLevel topic about sales terminology. So it's a very simple topic. Our items or our purple cells are our different terms, and our values, those orange cells, showcase the definition. I'll only be using one question template, which you can see at the top in B5, and this is what's going to create our pool of multiple choice questions. So like Jeff mentioned earlier, these topics produce those helpful flashcards that you see in the Knowledge Navigator activity, and also provide deeper analytics because we're able to describe each piece of content. So it really helps you identify what your players are struggling with. In Sheet 2, here I've got 4 manual questions I also want to add into this mission. So you can see I'm going to be using those tags so I continue to have actionable data in the analytics dashboard, as well as some of this content show up in flashcards and Knowledge Navigator. So those 2 benefits of using the mLevel topic, so the topic in Sheet 1 that I demoed, we can also achieve those by using our new tagging functionality. So for this example, the first 2 questions correlate with a term that was mentioned in the original topic, AIDA ABC. These are both terms or items in that original topic. Question number 3 introduces a new term, middle of the funnel. And question number 4 introduces a new topic and a new sales tool. So in this question, you can see we're asking our player audience a question about Evernote. So I'm categorizing that as a sales tool, and then Evernote would be an example of one of those tools. So today I'm going to build a mission with both types of content, and I'll share with you how the tagging works, these kind of different examples here, and then demo the player experience in the web player, and lastly show you how the manual content appears in the analytics dashboard. So I think before I get started, we'll go ahead and do the first chat. And let me know when it's appropriate to move on to the next step.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Kelly. So the question is, what type of learning content do you typically use in your mission? All right, Kelly, go ahead.
Okay, great. So here we are in Mission Manager. This is just a kind of playground or a just a fun tenant where we can mock up some missions for demos. So I'm going to create a new mission, and I'm going to title this Sales Associate Training. And I'm going to go through this a little quickly just to make sure we can show you all the important features today. But of course, slow me down if you have questions or if there's a lag in the screen share or anything. And I'm going to upload a quick mission image just so we're able to find this in the web player. So now I'm ready to add my activities and games. I'm going to keep it really simple. I'll just be adding a fast lane game. So that's where I'm going to put the content. And also a Knowledge Navigator so I can demo those flashcards for you guys. I always put the Knowledge Navigator first, so there, drag and drop that really quickly. Our next step, we're ready to upload the learning content. So I have already saved this first topic as a CSV file, but again, it would be the cells, the colored cells you would save as a .csv in Excel, and then you can hunt that down on your computer, and we'll upload that. So now our first topic's in here. I'll show you what it looks like, but it maintains the structure of our items or our terms on the left, and it brings in all those values. In this case, they're definitions. But you can see it looks exactly like it did in Excel. So that's ready to go. Now we're ready to add our game questions. So here's where we're going to add our question template as well as those manual questions. So I'm going to try to show you both the Excel and the browser at the same time, so it's easy to follow what's going on. So first I'm going to start with this question template up here. So within my Fastlane game, I'll click Create New. This top section, this is the radio buttons for selecting multiple choice or true false in regards to question templates. So these have to be in conjunction with an mLevel topic you've already uploaded. Kind of 3 and 4, these below options, this is a new functionality to enter a manual question. You do have the options for multiple choice or true false here also. So I'm going to start with our first question template. So it's multiple choice, so that's good. And I'll click Continue. And then I'm just going to type this in. So we only have one topic. It's already selected, so that's good. I wanted to use all my terms, so I can leave that alone. And we only have one attribute, so it's very easy. But when adding question templates, you're going to select the appropriate attribute this question template should apply to. And I'll preview this to make sure it looks good. So again, the power of these topics in this question template is it's able to produce this pool of content for you very, very quickly. It keeps track of what's the right answer, and it randomly brings in wrong answers. So the player can no longer just memorize 10 questions. They actually have to know the facts behind the question. So this question template produced 26 multiple choice questions. So a very simple topic. It still produced quite a bit of data. And I'll save that for us. And now we're going to go into adding our manual questions. Let me flip this. Try to see both here. Okay. So same idea. Make sure you can see this a little bit better. So I want to create a new question. Sorry, yep.
We just got a question. So one of the questions was, do you always need to upload at least one template in order to add manual questions? And the reply is no. You can add a manual question without having any content or any question templates already made.
Yeah, great question. And so within adding these new manual questions, same navigation, I'll click Create New, but down here I now want to enter a single question, a multiple choice question, and I'll click Continue. And so here's that interface that Jeff previewed a little bit earlier, very straightforward. So I have the questions drafted in Excel. You could use whatever program you want to. There's no uploading of manual content. Right now I'm just going to do a really lovely copy and paste job, but you could also just draft these within Mission Manager if you'd like. So what I've just done, probably too quickly, I've inputted the question at the top, added my correct answer right here, and then added some wrong answers. If I did want to add a third wrong answer, if you click this link, another form appears. So this box right here will allow you to associate an image with that answer choice. So previously, you've probably seen this. This would be the photo that appears behind this text when it's an answer in one of the activities. So I'm going to add the blue images to all our manual questions. So when I demo the player experience, you're able to see when is that question a manual question and when is it produced from our question template. So down here, this is where the tagging comes into play. You can see automatically we have a tag that's been created. And it's a little small because my browser's squished there. But you can see these are the tags that are readily available. And these were produced off of that topic we uploaded. So these are actually our items for those different terms. So if you remember question 1 and 2, these correlate with a term that was covered in that first topic. So the AIDA approach, that was already covered in the selling term, so I can reuse that tag. So when I click, here's our topic, sales terms, and then I will find the appropriate tag. So this way I'm getting stats. When this question's asked, when the question template asks, the stats will be combined to just describe, they both correlate with the same term. So I'll select that. That one's good to go. Another time saver when adding manual questions is instead of saving and going back out, you can actually click this Save and Create Another button, and it'll just save your question, give you an indicator of how many questions you have right now for your game, and then you're able to enter a second one. So I'll go ahead and add the text for question number 2. This, again, correlates with a term that was covered in the topic we've uploaded. Sorry, I can't copy and paste and talk at the same time. Okay, so we've got our content in there. Let me add that blue image really fast. And so this question quizzes our players on ABC, or the always be closing. This was a term that was described in that first topic. So again, that tag is already present. So questions 3 and 4, these are creating new tags. Same idea though when entering the question. Enter our question. Here's our correct answer. And then I'll put in those wrongs. Add one more wrong field. And then get those blue images. Hopefully I'm not making anybody car sick. I'm sure the screen goes crazy when I move this quickly.
And just to be clear, the images aren't required.
Yep, good point. So here we've got our question, correct answer, wrong answers. So we've introduced a new term with this question, middle of the funnel. But I am categorizing this as an admin, so this is just kind of me thinking through it. I'm thinking, that is truly a sales term, so it makes sense that it is under our sales terms topic. So I want to click into that topic. It makes sense to be put in there. But at the very bottom here, you can see this ability to add a new tag. So here's where I could type in middle of the funnel and then use this new tag.
So Kelly, one quick question that came through was, did those tags come from the original template? So the answer to that question is yes. If you have a template or a grid already created, it will populate all of your tags within there already. And what Kelly just did was she created a new one in this instance. So if you don't have any items or if you don't have anything in the grid, then the tag control will be empty, and you'll have to go ahead and add new things as you go on.
Yep, exactly. So this, when I click here, this sales terms is the topic we already uploaded. Sorry, now I noticed that tab should be named sales terms. The topic's actually titled sales terms. That might have been confusing. And then these tags that are already created are the items of this topic. So question 1 and 2, the tag was already present. It described terms that were described in that first topic. Question number 3, I introduced a new term, but I wanted it to be categorized as a sales term, so I stayed in this structure, stayed in this topic, if that makes sense. And then question number 4, this one would be data to describe a sales tool. In my mind, I'm saying actually this would be a new topic. So let me add in the data really quickly. So here you can see I'm touching on a sales tool. In this case, it's Evernote. So in my mind, I'm saying, it doesn't make sense to go in the sales terms topic. This really is a new topic. We'll call it sales tools. Add that. And then within this topic, this question describes Evernote. So it's still that process of correctly grouping like items just to stay organized. So you can have stats on overall how are the topics performing, how are players, how many are struggling with sales terms versus sales tools, but also the tags at the item level. So per term, per Evernote, you're able to get some data on, okay, which term are they struggling with?
So just to be clear, so just wanted to make sure people understand. So when you add a new topic and a new item within the tagging tool, it will actually create a new topic and a new item within that grid as well.
Oh, I'm moving there next, so I'll make sure to touch on that. So that's our last question. I'll go ahead and save that. And that's exactly what Jess said. So we have touched on these tags give you that deeper analytics, but also let me show you what happens to our learning content. So if you remember, we only uploaded a sales terms topic, but since I created that Evernote tag under that new sales tools topic, this topic's automatically created, and when I open this up, you can see Evernote has appeared based off that tag. And so let's say I wanted this to be a flashcard in Knowledge Navigator and have some useful information in here. Really simply, I could just add an attribute to categorize the data. This could be whatever makes sense, though. And then I'm going to steal some of the content from this question and just tweak it a little bit. But now I'm saying, I want something to show up on this flashcard so that it's helpful for our players. So just something really quick there. And so now I have data to describe this item. But since I don't have a question template written about this topic, this attribute, I don't have to worry about it showing up in any game. But later, if I want to, you have that flexibility to go back and add a question template as well. Similarly, when I go back to that topic I did upload, so if you remember, we added that middle of the funnel term. Here at the very bottom, since we added that tag, it produced a new item or a new term in this topic. So I have some options here. If I want to add a definition, I can mix that in using the question template. But let's say I really just want a flashcard in Knowledge Navigator. Again, I can just add kind of a header here, and then whatever makes sense. I'll do a little cheat here and grab the question and plug that in to describe the middle of the funnel. I think it's identifies. Okay. So the reason the tags are able to help build flashcards in Knowledge Navigator and provide that deeper dive of analytics is because they're actually creating topics and items for you. So right now, since the tags created, this new term, they created that sales tools topic. If we wanted content to appear in the Knowledge Navigator on those flashcards, we did just have to go back and complete that step to fill them up. However, in our next iteration, we'll provide the admin the ability to add a description, if you will, as you enter manual questions and create new tags. So it's kind of not, you don't have to go back here to tweak your topics or revisit them. So it's all optional. If you're not using Knowledge Navigator, it'll work as is. If you just don't want to use the sales tools topic in your Knowledge Navigator, but I just wanted to show you, you have options. Okay, great. So any questions? I know I just covered a bunch.
Yeah, we just got one comment just asking if you could slow it down because it was very hard to follow. So.
I can. I will slow it down. Okay. So I'm just going to save this so we can demo what it looks like from the player point of view. I'm going to save my questions again. Anytime you make edits to your topics, this notification is going to appear, and it's just going to want you to refresh your pool of questions so it has the most current set of content. User groups, not a lot of options, so I'll just let everybody see our mission. And then while I'm publishing this, we can go ahead and do the next two polls.
So the first poll is, with this new feature now available, how do you intend to create new content in mLevel? Are you only going to use the grid-based content and question templates that we had before this existed? Are you only going to use the manually created questions, the new stuff that we're showing? Or do you think that you might use both of them for different cases? Go ahead and give a couple more seconds. Great, that's the answer that we wanted to hear. So people will plan to use both of these. Like I said before, it really just depends on the use case. Question templates are pretty powerful. You can use them to generate a lot of questions very quickly. And the manual questions are also very powerful in that you can ask specific questions. So, great, you want to do one more poll? All right, so our next poll is, do you typically use the Knowledge Navigator activity in your missions? We want to know if you use it often, if you sometimes use it, or if you basically never use it. So go ahead and type your answers in there. We'll give you a couple seconds to respond. Great, good to see that people are using it.
Okay, ready to walk through the player experience?
Sounds great, Kelly.
So here you can see our new mission we just created, Sales Associate Training. I'll click in on this. I left all this default, so it's not going to be too exciting, but the main idea, our Knowledge Navigator activity and our Fastlane activity. So first I'm going to show you the Knowledge Navigator and how those tags correlate with these flashcards. So I'll start with the sales tools topic. If you remember, this is the topic that was created through tags. We created the sales tools topic so we could add that Evernote tag. And since we went and added a description, that's what's going to show up on this flashcard. And if you did associate an image, that's what would have appeared here. So the sales, sorry, I'll slow down again. The sales terms topic, this is the one that we uploaded as a CSV. So this is our question template topic. When I open this up, you'll see all our items. And then here, you can find the middle of the funnel. That's the new term, the new item we added through that manual question, through adding the middle of the funnel tag. And when I select that, you'll be able to see here's the description we entered. So we had some information on the flashcard.
So just to be clear, you added that one into the grid via the manual questions, but then you had to go back to the grid to add that additional value, right?
Correct. Okay, so now I'll show you the fast lane game. And I believe I missed one of the manual questions, but if you see the questions with the blue answer boxes, those are our manual questions. Believe it or not, I've made this one a few times, so I'll also be able to tell you right away. But the idea is the content gets mixed together, so the questions produced from that question template, as well as those manual questions, will all be brought into this game. So this is a question that was created based off of that question template. I should know all the answers to this now, so I'll try to get us through the whole game so you can see. And perfect. So here's one of our manual questions. It's actually the first question we added. And we reused that AIDA tag. It was a term covered in our topic we uploaded. So I'll just plug through a few more of these so we get some data in the analytics dashboard. Is there any questions about manual questions or the tags?
I've had a few questions come in, but you've addressed them all as they came in, so that's good.
Wow. I didn't plan on that. Okay.
You obviously know your stuff, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm also a stellar sales associate. Okay, so I'll click through this kind of fast so you don't have to just watch me play. I think you've all seen a fast lane game. Oops, there's another manual question. Sorry, I moved too fast.
So here is one question. All the terms were in alpha order except middle of the funnel. How do you do that in alpha order? So that might be something that we need to look into. Not sure if we have an answer for that one just yet.
And here's another. This is our second manual question we added. So you can see the blue boxes. Okay, so do you guys want to go ahead and do another poll while I get the analytics dashboard ready?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so the next poll is, do you have any issues with the Knowledge Grid content not displaying how you want it to in Knowledge Navigator? So this is kind of to what someone had just mentioned before, in terms of being in the order they want, or basically any issues that you've had trying to put content into Knowledge Navigator. So your options are no, it typically works well for our content. Sometimes we have issues, or yes, we often have issues. We'll give a couple seconds for people to fill that out. Great. So it seems like sometimes people do, but a good majority, no, it typically works well. So that's good. At least we're working most of the time. All right, Kelly, go ahead and take it away.
I'm going to try to refresh this. It doesn't seem like my score has appeared yet. Okay, got a lot in here. I'm struggling to find it. Okay. So I'm going to have to use a different example. It looks like it doesn't have enough data since I'm the only one who's played it. And I think I marked as internal. So I'll use, let's see if I can find one that's kind of similar here.
In the meantime, if anybody has any questions, you can always raise your hand as well or type in the question box. We've got a few that came in, but I think we're addressing them pretty well.
Okay. Any questions? You ready for me to?
No, we're ready. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So I actually, believe it or not, practiced once or twice. So this is the same mission with a different title. So just pretend this is the right thing. But it'll absolutely show you what I'm going to try to get across here. So we used those tags, so the terms, if you remember, AIDA, ABC, those tags were already available since they correlated with terms that we uploaded in the topics. So these steps to describe those terms, it's going to use the question template question as well as that manual question. So this is just going to combine this. So you're not going to have AIDA definition, and then you're going to later have AIDA manual questions. By using those tags, you keep your steps together. Also, let's see if I can hunt down. We added, see if we can go down here. Okay, so then if I had my real example was showing up, what would have happened since I created that sales tools topic, another topic would appear down here with that item of Evernote. So you would get some stats like this as well. Another really helpful place to kind of track your content in this performance page, when you click this gameplay details link, you're able to get some stats on how each question is performing. So this would be a mix of your question templates as well as your manual questions. So now both locations are able to give you some data on all of your content, regardless of if you just did question templates, you just did manual questions, you did a mix of both. It's going to appear correctly here if you use our new tagging functionality.
That's also great. It kind of shows off our new question breakdown page as well. So you can see in the analytics, we've got a great new page that mimics what we've done in Pathfinder, showing you for each question what their answer was and what they got right, what they got wrong.
And there's not a ton of plays in here, but even as admins, if you guys go and log into your locations, this new functionality will be applied to your content, so you can go check it out and let us know what you think. Okay, so if we have any more questions, I'll bring up the last poll.
Great. So after seeing all of this stuff live and in action, do you feel like the effort of tagging is worth the reporting that you'll get from it? So your options are, yes, it's exactly what I want. Maybe I'd have to get my hands on it to decide, but it looks pretty good. No, it's not really what I want from reporting, or I just don't need any reporting in general. Go ahead and give you a couple seconds to finish up that poll. Great. Yeah, that's kind of what we expected. So seems like a good majority kind of want to get their hands on it, but it looks like it's kind of what they want, and the rest of them, yeah, it's basically what you need. So that's good news. Great. So Kelly, are you all wrapped up on your end then?
Yep, I'm good. Thank you.
Great. So I'll just go ahead and walk through future improvements a little bit. So, sorry. So as we roll out this new feature, we're already beginning to think about future improvements. Two of the areas that we've identified are around providing answer feedback for questions. So very similar to the current Pathfinder feedback functionality that we have in place. We'd like to add that as well. And then just deeper tagging functionality to allow more granular reporting if needed. So once you guys, just like that last poll question asked, like once you get hands-on and let us know, do you need more reporting data than what we're providing? That would be great, because then we can kind of know if we need to spend more time going and making that tagging functionality deeper, or if it's good enough and we can spend our time in other places. That'd be great. So if you are interested in participating in usability and feedback sessions, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me by email. My email is jeff.stefkin@mlevel.com. We'd love to work with you, and everybody that's done usability and feedback sessions seems to have a good time, and usually we're pretty good about taking your feedback and implementing it. So it's really a win-win situation. So that's all I had in terms of the future enhancements. I'm just going to make a quick check to make sure we don't have any questions. So we do have a couple questions that are coming in now. The new analytics are available now. Yes, that's correct. So everything that you saw here in the demo is now available in the current release, or the latest release. And then we have another question. Just want more clarification on the purpose of using tags or advantages of using tags. So basically, if you didn't catch that, so what the tagging does is it will create items and topics, and what that will allow you to do is to get a certain level of reporting back. So it's not going to be as detailed reporting as some of the grid-based and question template-based things that we've done in the past, but it should get you most of the basic reporting that you need. And we can talk more about the reporting offline if you want, or Kelly can sort of talk to that if you want a little bit more information. We can open up the phone lines in a little bit. And the last questions I have here is, let's see, oh, we have a few that just came in, so that's great. So we have, can those tags be added individually? We got to that one. Let's see. Sorry, I'm updating my thing here. Do you have time to release the new reporting tool? I'm not sure what the question is on that one. So we'll follow up when the phone lines open up. We'll get you in there, Andy. So go ahead and we'll roll the next chat thing as people can kind of queue up their questions. So think about some questions that you want to ask, and we'll open up the phone lines and we can address some of those. So so this is sort of in your question box again. Will you try to create content manually using this feature? A simple yes or no would be fine. Just kind of want to gauge who's all trying, or who's interested in using this feature. I'm assuming most of you will want to. Then let's go ahead and roll the next one. So the question is, will you use the tagging feature to get additional reporting data? So if yes, just go ahead and say yes tagging or no tagging. And then we can open up the lines if you want. So let me see if I can fire up these questions here. I just need to expand my question view so I can see what's going on. Let's see. So we have, well, I'm going to go ahead and, can we unmute Andy Pan? Andy, are you there? I think we may have lost Andy. So I just wanted some clarification. Looks like your audio is disabled, Andy. So if you want to ask your question, you can go ahead and enable your audio, I think, on your end, if that's possible. Otherwise, we can follow up with you directly afterwards to get your question answered. Okay, can we just unmute Andy? Is that possible? Go ahead, Andy. Try it now. Yeah, it seems like we're still having some audio issues with Andy. So Andy, we'll go ahead and follow up with you afterwards. Okay, so you're good. Does anybody else have any questions? If you want to raise your hand, we can open up the phone line for you, or you can type your question in. While we do that, let's go ahead and advance to the next slide, just so people can kind of see what's upcoming in the next webinar here. So the next webinar will be in April. So April 15th is our next scheduled webinar, and as some of you mentioned, you wanted to know about some best practices, so we're going to go ahead and roll that out and show you some tips and tricks for how to best prepare, promote, and launch mLevel campaigns. So hopefully some people can attend. Let's see if we have any questions. Looks like we're okay for now in terms of hand raising. Yeah, I don't think we have any other questions. We'll give maybe another couple seconds for people to raise their hand, but it sounds like people are good. And as Josh mentioned earlier in the conversation, go ahead and reach out to your account managers or your account reps if you have additional questions, or you can always reach out to myself. Again, my email is jeff.stefkin@mlevel.com. Happy to answer some questions for you, and we'll go ahead and follow up with the people that had some questions that we didn't get to answer. We'll go ahead and do that individually. But thanks for attending. We look forward to seeing you next month, and we hope that everybody got value out of this webinar and that you'll be using these new features. Thanks, everyone.